Good afternoon. Just getting ready for a big week. Obviously, getting down to, we got 4 left in the conference, and really proud of our team and where we are right now. And just know that we've got 4 monsters in front of us. I mean, every game is a rivalry game that we have in this league. To me, we have 16 of them. We got to obviously have one on Thursday night on the road. It's always hard to play on the road. Really proud of how we played Sunday on the road against a really good team, a well-coached team, a team that was hot. And so, we need to have a better day of practice today than yesterday, and hopefully we will. And go on the road and play on Thursday night. I know we'll have a lot of people in maroon there, and so we know we've got to be ready to play. It was a close game here till about 5 minutes in the second quarter, and we made a little run, and so we know we've got to play well. They're a very good basketball team, tremendous guard play, so much respect for their guards, and of course going and having to play on the road anytime is always a concern. So we'll be ready. Got these 2 kids from this great state that go on the road and represent Mississippi State, and I know they're going to be ready to play as well.
Start with Robbie.
Vic, you said a few times that a lot of people a few years ago wouldn't go to Oxford for a game or anything really, and last year you filled up over half the arena. Was that a shock to see? I know you've seen some big crowds follow this team, but to see the following that you got last year in Oxford, and maybe even some more this year, was that a little surprising to you?
It's built over the years. Excuse me. From the first year, nobody going, to every year it seems like we've had more and more. To last year, it was really special walking out, and that whole side was maroon, and but that's how it is when we travel. I mean, as you know, no matter where we go, anywhere in the country, we always have a lot of fans. It's been really special. Really unique, unlike any place I've ever been, really, the way our fans follow us, and fans in other states. I mean, we had a great crowd Sunday in College Station. So, but, anytime we travel in the state of Mississippi, we always have tremendous following, and again, we appreciate that. I think our kids have earned it, and people just enjoy watching our kids play. So, I know we'll have a great crowd tomorrow night, and we're going to need them.
Let's stick with Robbie.
And for Myah, you had to come in a tough spot. Jazz was in foul trouble, and Jessica had to come in too. The bench came in. I think they were down by 7 points, and y'all were able to get that lead back and really kind of take control. Just kind of talk about that stretch in the second quarter against A&M, and how the bench was able to keep things rolling and get back on track.
For me, I knew that coming in and Jazz is in foul trouble, and she's a great aspect to this team. We feed off of her defense, her energy. So when I got in, I just tried to be like another Jazz, just play great defense, give the team energy, run plays, and execute well, and just things like that. So I just knew when I had to come in, I had to bring a lot of energy and apply a lot of pressure on the ball, and play really good defense, and just be in control of the team.
Coach, other than Andy going off against Texas A&M, you've taken more threes in the last probably 5 or 6 games or so than you have at any point in the year, though, other than Andy just being ridiculous last time out. What do you attribute that to? How do you explain that?
It's just part of our offense. I mean, I think we've got kids that can make shots out there. I think Anriel, Bree, Andy, all are really good out there, and those are our 3 primary shooters out there. Jordan and Jazz don't have to live out there. They can get to their spots and get what I call their shots pretty much anytime they want to. So I just think those 2 things, Jazz is so good. Myah's learning to find those kids in transition. Jazz always knew where Blair was. She's over in that left corner. and she always found her. She was really good at it, and she's learning to find Andy. Andy's playing more minutes now, and so she's always got her head up looking to find her. Myah, the same thing. And so when you've got kids that can make shots, you know, I think you learn to find them. I was talking with Myah earlier today. You know, when you get a kid that's made 2 in a row, man, find them again. Let's see if we can, you know, stay hot with that particular player. And you know, you just kind of keep, you know, you kind of keep going to the well, so to speak. We've done that with Tiara. You know, she had 20, I think, in the 4th quarter against Washington in the Sweet 16. Well, we ran every play in the book for her because, you know, she was hot. They couldn't guard her. And so we were, you know, so that's what you do. But you got to get your players to understand that, especially your point guards. And so, but I think those kids can all make shots. They're all shooting a very good percentage out there. And so I'm more than comfortable with those kids shooting out there.
Tyler?
Vic, you guys have 2 losses this year. Both times you bounced back to win by about $1 million on the road. What does that say about your team?
Well, for 2 times it says that you know, they got it. They learned from the film and realized, you know, our shortcomings. You know, I'm proud of them for bouncing back on Sunday. We had so many things that went wrong, from traveling to getting in late, eating late, going to bed late. I got them up early for shoot around at 6, put them back in the bed at 6:30 and said, to heck with it, you guys look tired, go get 2 more hours of sleep. I've never done that in 34 years in coaching, but I just knew that Jazz, Jordan, they need energy. They're my juice players. And when I looked at them, and Jordan really looked tired. Jazz, I've seen her look that way before, and she's still, but you know, when you know, I walked over to Jazz, I said, what do you think about getting back in the bed? And she kind of looked at me, and I think she thinks, I'm not going to say yes because he'll think I'm soft. But at the same time, she was probably doing cartwheels in her mind because it was a short night. I mean, we didn't get done eating dinner and watching film. I mean, that was all kind of one thing till 11:15. What you don't realize is you send them to their room. Well, you got 2 people in a room, and they each got to take a shower. The time they get done with all that, it's midnight 30. Well, they're probably not asleep till 1, and I'm getting them up at 6 for a 7 a.m. shoot around because we played at 1. So, you know, but we weren't going to use that as an excuse. We sat around the airport for 5 hours. They'll tell you, heck, I was excited, told them, hey, great, it is what it is. We got to make the best of it, you know. I mean, I was looking for a bus. When the plane was broke down, I was trying to see if we needed to take a bus. We were going to bus 9 hours if we had to. But I wasn't going to use it as an excuse. Jazz didn't want to do that either. But, you know, just proud of everything that kind of went against us, and yet we came out and took care of business. And so I was really pleased with them. And again, that's a little step of toughness for them. And you know, again, as a coach, sometimes you got to make some decisions. And I just felt like the sleep was more important than the shoot around.
Jazz, what's it like as a player to go on the road to Oxford and still basically have a home court advantage because of all the fans that are there?
It's a great feeling. Our fans are amazing. Like Coach said, they travel with us everywhere. So just to have them in Oxford, it's a good feeling for us.
Robert?
Vic, you see the players in practice, so you know what they're capable of, but a little different situation the other day against Texas A&M when you have T in foul trouble and Jazz and Andrew, and a lot of those players have to go to the bench, and you're having to rely on those players, 3 or 4 of them, to come in and get you back on track. Was that reassuring to see that put in motion? Is a little different thing than you've seen this year other than in practice?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, these kids have been practicing well. They've been working on their craft, and you know, I think they prepared for that moment. You know, all of them, for the most part, worked pretty hard in practice. Jessica's really come on in the last month. I mean, she's just really competing. She's playing well. She's executing. She's making shots, rebounding, and she came in the A&M game and really did all that and finally looked comfortable. She's been nervous, you know. It's hard sometimes coming in and playing in front of a bunch of people. You've never done it before, and it's taken her some time to get used to that, but I was just so proud of her for the minute she gave us when I decided to pull T out with 2 fouls. And of course Myah came in and she played 22 minutes on Sunday and did a great job running our team. And you know, she's just like Jazz. She likes to get out and run in transition. So people that you better pick your poison when you're dealing with us because both of my point guards can get out and run and push and make some good decisions. I think the one constant was I had Jordan in the game. I didn't have to take her out. Bree came in and gave us some great minutes. I sat Andrielle because of her turnovers, and then I think I got her back in, and so I was able to play her a little bit. But those kids played well, no question about it, and they're young. You know, all those kids we're talking about, 2 freshmen and a sophomore, you know, came in a big game on the road and really played well. But they're fearless. I mean, Bree is fearless. You know, when she's locked in, she's really a tough kid to deal with. Big body, big frame, long, and you know, she's pretty explosive at times.
Coach, you mentioned Ole Miss's guard play. When guards will play well and not turning the ball over, does that make any team a dangerous team?
Absolutely. You know, we harp on it all the time about don't turn the ball over. And Jazz heard it early in her career. Myah is hearing it now. My whole team hears it. And you know, their guard play, you throw LaCaris in there, who's a tough matchup, can stretch you at the 5, has all the counter moves down low, you know, and is having a good year for them. And so, you know, that's, and you got Myah who's a senior and been to the wars. You know, those are all veteran kids that we're talking about. I mean, you're talking about a 5th-year kid that transferred from UTA, and you got Chandrika, who's been there, and she's a 5th-year kid, or she's a senior, and so you know, you've got some veterans on that team that have been to the wars. I mean, those 4 seniors I just mentioned. So those kids know what they're doing and how to do it, and you just got to make sure that, you know, Thursday night they warrant our complete attention, and we go in there and you know, play well.
Myah, obviously you learned a lot during your redshirt year, but what have you learned this year actually being able to get out onto the court and play against players that aren't on the same team as you?
One of the most important things I've learned is taking care of the ball and how important execution is. In big moments, we have to execute and get the shot that coach wants us to make, and things like that. So execution for me is one thing that I've really learned and valued more as I'm playing, because like I said, execution is just a huge thing. So.
And Jazz, what have you seen out of Myah, and when you get into foul trouble like you did the other day, how confident are you that when she comes in to replace you that she's going to be able to do everything that you provide on the court?
I think it's good for Myah. She can stretch it more than I can, so when she has an open look, she can knock it down, and her defense is getting better every day, and she's learning not to turn the ball over like she said, and just getting the shot that coach wants us to get.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, ladies.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it. Go Dogs.